In each of your folders, I've made a folder called Reflections Part 2. You need to click on that and go to Aperture Photoshoot. And I've made a folder called Aperture Photoshoot Intention. You can see inside the folder there is an example and template, and there is Aperture Photographer's PowerPoint. You need to open each of these. And you have a read through the Aperture photographers. And the point of this is to select 4 photographers that you like. If you don't like any of the photographers on the PowerPoint, you can go onto the internet or onto Instagram and you can choose your own. But you need to choose photographers who have either used a large aperture or photographers who have used a small aperture. You can see in the photos that the large aperture photographers have got blurry backgrounds like this, and the photographers who have used small apertures have got very sharp backgrounds, and they're mainly of landscapes. Once you've read the Aperture Photographer's PowerPoint, you then open up the Aperture Intention example and template and you start modifying that. So here it says find 2 large and 2 small aperture photographers. Why have you picked them? Add a link to reflections, add an example of their work and a web link, and then improve the look of the presentation. So here is your template. It's very simple. It says here for photo shoot 1 I'm going to research a photographer. You then go and insert a photograph where it says here. So you could have a look at the Aperture Photographer's PowerPoint and just, I'll press Ctrl C and then Ctrl B. I've pasted it in and I can remove that box. I then need to take the name of the photographer and the web link, which is on this PowerPoint. And again, I can just copy and paste. And then remove the box from before. And then I could add a little explanation of how it links to reflections. I don't want to write that on here for you because I think that's your job to do that. So you keep going through and you want to choose a different photographer in each box. So you might then go back to this PowerPoint and choose somebody else, or you might go onto Google and choose a photographer that you want to look at. If you think you're going to need extra help with this project, I would suggest that you choose Beta Lubas. I'm going to write an analysis, or I'm going to talk through an analysis about Beta Lubas, and in school I will be doing a food photography photo shoot, so that could be what you end up doing. So I'd make sure that at least one of Beta Lubas's photos is on there if you think you're going to need extra help. The example slide on the intention example and template can be deleted once you've finished adding all your examples to this slide. That's just to show you what the slide could look like when you are done with your work. So although it says shutter speed here, that's just because it's an example slide. You'll be looking at aperture for this one, but you can see that the layout is the same.